Quite a while back, during the Cretaceous time frame, dinosaurs governed the Korean landmass the same way they controlled the remainder of the Earth. At that point, numerous dinosaur species lived in the forest on the portion of the land that is now known as Giovanni Yosu, including the Tarbosaurus. In a monologue, the ferocious forest hunters tell a young harvester named Speckles that he was born on the night of the full moon. Speckles is a curious and playful child who lives with his mother, older brothers, and twin sisters in a nest on top of a mountain where they can clearly see the entire forest where they live. Speckles and she are happy to spend time together hunting and chasing her vigorous dinosaur species, but because he is only 1 year old, he has not yet learned how to kill prey during the hunts. Even though he records the ways his older siblings kill, his older brother chases the prey, while the other two siblings and Speckles are excited to use these methods in practice. However, his training day finally arrived. On that day, when it arrives, it marks the beginning of a long and difficult journey into adulthood for him. When Mom is getting ready to teach the Speckles how to kill prey, the ground below them suddenly starts shaking. It is the result of a T-Rex massive stampede of dinosaurs. The mightiest hunter of all, since he's feeling the loss of an eye. During the chaos, he is referred to by everyone as the One Eye, and his siblings begin to flee for safety. However, they are eventually separated. His older brother passes away after being stepped on by some dinosaurs, and his twin sisters are thrown off the cliff. Mammals arrive, but she is only a few seconds late, leaving only Speckles and her 4 children alive. Sadly, she does not even have time to grieve because One Eye arrives and attacks her mother, who fights for a while with all of her might. However, the vicious Tyrannosaurus gains the upper hand because of this, and he throws her off the cliff. She crashes against the stones 2 or multiple times before at last tumbling down to her work area. While Speckles is alone and without a place to go, he weeps as he watches his mother's passing from a distance. Even though he doesn't know how to hunt, he says in the next scene that one day he will get revenge on his family. For fear of starvation, we observe the tiny tar bazaar scavenging and raiding nests. He satisfies his hunger by stealing an egg from a pterops or flying reptile. Nevertheless, the reptile arrives and begins to pursue him. Speckles almost dies, but he escapes by diving into a river after hiding in a shed. Speckles follows a herd of velociraptors chasing a prey. Philosophers are small carnivores that are feared for their agility and viciousness. He follows them discreetly, only to discover that the prey has been captured by none other than the T-Rex One Eye. We learn that One Eye has been usurped by Speckles, and that he builds his home there as the king of the jungle, sneaks inside in search of food, and tries to steal some meat bud. Speckles is now 5 years old, but he is still too young to avenge his family's death because it is caught by One Eye. Fortunately, he is able to escape without being attacked in the movie. One day, 2 horned dinosaurs engage in a deadly rock fight to establish their dominance over the females in the area. After a while, one of them loses, and he is kicked out of their group. Meanwhile, One Eye continues to kill and rule the jungle. This presents the ideal opportunity for One Eye to target his prey, and the cuckoos make excellent prey. But as he follows the horned dinosaur, a huge predator comes up behind him. This predator has razor-sharp claws that can cut through even bone, but the T-Rex uses his intelligence to fool the predator into getting his claws stuck in a tree's eye. After that, he grabs him by the neck and kills him, all while a terrified Speckles watches from nearby as One Eye munches on his blue eyes. A female Tarbosaurus appears without warning and decides to steal his food. However, once she realizes how aggressive and territorial One Eye is, she decides to kill him. She rapidly takes off in the interim. Dots figures out how to take a piece of food from One Eye. The female Tarbosaurus follows him, and out of pity he offers her a piece of meat. In light of this nice thought, Blue Eyes likewise opens up and the two become quick. They hunt and survive together in France. 5 years later, they hunt together as Speckles and Blue Eyes have moved far away from One Eye. This is a trick he learned from his deceased siblings, and the two become inseparable and start living happily. One day, One Eye comes across their hunting ground and makes another attempt to take over their territory. At first, he attacks Blue Eyes, injuring her disengaged Speckles, and then he tries to get back at her, but it doesn't work out. As a result, he decides to find a different route and quickly devises a plan in which he lures One Eye to a swamp and traps him there because the soil there is very loose. He is still no match for the powerful beast. As he watches the Speckles and Blue Eyes celebrate their victory, he slowly begins to drown, unaware that One Eye is a persistent beast. He comes right behind them, ready to kill them. Fortunately, the Blue Eyes with the Speckles were able to get away just in time. A few days later, we see that the two have moved away from their territory once more. Hoping to get away from One Eye as far away as possible, they walked incessantly for days. Blue Eyes notwithstanding, there are no signs of life nearby. Even when she gets sick, she decides that she can't continue. However, Speckle stretches out to see a hot spring beneath the Rocky Mountains at the exact moment he spots a large herd of friendly dinosaurs leading somewhere. The two needed this hope, so they rushed to the hot spring and relaxed in the water right away. After 10 years. Speckles is now a young, robust male who can easily corner and kill his prey. The pair has established themselves in a new forest that is far away from the previous one. Additionally, he is waiting to conceive children with Blue Eyes. Why are you holding out? Unfortunately, Cowboy, their happiness is cut short one day when the vicious T-Rex returns, still determined to kill the couple permanently. He slyly throws a rock at them from above, and while Speckles tries to save Blue Eyes, he is thrown into the sea. One Eye then jumps down with a thunderous roar and starts attacking Blue Eyes. She fights hard, but it's not enough for One Eye. Then, getting ready to end her once and for all, he grabs her by the neck. Fortunately, by this time, Speckles has arrived and helped his friend who was hurt. Seeing Blue Eyes on the ground brought back memories of his mother's murder, so he pulled out all his might and attacked the T-Rex. Surprisingly, after a hard duel, he was able to keep One Eye on the grass and force him to leave this elite Speckles because, having triumphed over his previous foe, he has reclaimed the family nest and hunting grounds, where the couple has decided to lay their eggs. Blue Eyes must, regrettably, provide 24-hour guard to the hatch lengths for a month during the procedure. Only 3 little bobbies make it because of the difficult environment. One of the babies has spots all over his body and looks like Speckles. As the Cretaceous period nears its end, no one ever said dinosaurs were creative, so the parents decide to name him Speckles Jr. The environment is changing as the days get longer, nearby water streams start to vaporize ice, and the surrounding area gets drier every day. The majority of the herbivorous dinosaurs are having trouble finding fresh food. One afternoon, the children suddenly cry out for help, but the Speckled and Blue Eyes are too busy looking around to notice any danger. Then, a powerful earthquake strikes the ground, which prompts the active volcano in the area to arrive. The volcano releases enormous fireballs, causing you to begin destroying the forest. All of the dinosaurs are terrorized by this, and they are forced to leave their territory. During the catastrophe, his family travels through a shortcut tunnel as everything around them appears to be falling apart. Suddenly, rocks and debris begin to fall from above. Sadly, a large rock ball causes one of the children to be hit, killing him right away. That better not have been Spots. When Blue Eyes goes to save her other children, Junior dams it when another piece of debris hits her in the leg. After this, Speckles and the family joined other migratory herds of dinosaurs fleeing the natural disaster. 2 weeks into the journey, there is no sign of water or life. She is severely wounded and cannot even walk properly. The majority of them become exhausted from the long walk, which is nothing more than a vast desert with no food or water. As a result, they begin to fall onto the ground one at a time. This is the ideal chance for the body-eating speed entertainers who frequently chase in packs and ask on the most fragile unexpectedly. An enormous herbivorous dinosaur tumbles to the ground from fatigue. Soon, he is surrounded by a herd of philosophers who are eager to take ill-fated advantage of their new prey. Speckles realizes that his partner, Blue Eyes, could succumb to the same fate as the herbivorous dinosaur and encourages her to get up. Blue Eyes is also unable to walk due to her leg injuries. Blue Eyes, on the other hand, is too weak to keep going, so she gives up and tells Speckles to take the kids and save themselves. Speckles stands his ground and kills a few of them, but he becomes more and more exhausted with every passing second. To make matters worse, the philosopher actors also notice Speckles as 2 kids and go after them while the philosophers are preying on her neck. She is unable to even breathe as her blue eyes weaken. She sadly says goodbye to her family as she slowly closes her eyes. Speckles grieves for his wife in the following scene, but he soon realizes that they don't have much time, so he carries his children and flees the speed raptors. Once he and the kids are safe, they look back and see the evil creatures feasting on blue eyes. "I'm sorry," a broken smile only says. "This is as dark as a ball, and I don't know what I expected from a dinosaur movie." After 2 weeks, the crowd at long last has some break somewhere far off. They see an enormous fruitful region where there is perpetual food and haven for each one. However, there is a very risky path leading to the green oasis. Despite the fact that they must cross a narrow ridge that surrounds the mountains and a never-ending deep sea beneath them, the herd, which includes Speckles and his 2 children, slowly advances in the hope of reaching the oasis and beginning a new life. While Speckles and his children move through the narrow path, we observe One Eye cautiously watching the herd from above a mountain. They are suddenly confronted by a stampede of dinosaurs. His early years are marked by this. Memories of a stampede in which his siblings were killed in a similar way, and to his surprise, he meets One Eye again, who has been driven out by the same natural disaster. It turns out that, just like he did before, One Eye started the stampede to ambush Speckles and his family once more. When one of the giant beasts begins to lose vision, he decides to pursue Speckles and his children, while the latter makes every effort to save the children. The encounter between the two ends up being a fierce battle. Sadly, however, one of them is murdered out of vengeance. Dots assaults One Eye and figures out how to crash him into the ground anyway. The versatile T-Rex stands right back up and hurls Spots Jr. from a precipice and into the sea. "No, Spots Jr., no goodness, you will pay." He then starts cornering Speckles, just like he did to his mother. However, our hero Tarbosaurus gets the upper hand and throws the T-Rex off the cliff. He then looks down to see that his son is still alive and yelling for help at the same time. He immediately dives into the sea to save his last surviving son when he also sees One Eye alive and heading toward the child. In the meantime, Speckles attacks the old beast from behind, and just as One Eye is about to grab the kid, we see the kid clinging to life with the support of submerged wood. The two of them fight for a while more, and the smell of blood in the water causes them to get hurt. Speckles sees a pair of water dinosaurs, also known as Tylosaurus, approaching them. He is concerned about his son, Tyler, who is alone and vulnerable in the water after a long battle in the ocean. Eventually, he is able to overcome One Eye and throw him off to the Tyler's sorrows. After a while, Speckles reunites with his son and heads toward the faraway oasis. The path is very long and tedious, but this kills the vicious T-Rex once and for all. However, he refuses to give up, and after a few hours, his eyes become tired and eventually close. Speckles lays unconscious on the beach and awakens when he hears his son desperately calling for him. In the concluding monologue, Speckles wishes a peaceful ending. Just as it appeared that the father and son duo had been killed in the following scene, we learned that they had somehow made it to the shore. His son will have a happy life in this new lush jungle. Turn on notifications, please subscribe for more videos like this one, and like the channel to support it. I appreciate your attention.